Here we go. We're going to show you how to do this drink right now. Showed you on the previous video how to make your probiotic bacteria and actually add a little bit of your DNA there. Now, this is a drink that I use of a variety of drinks throughout the day, and you can see my lineup here, that I'm going to show you that this combination tastes really good and is very good for cleansing for you and also for nutrition. So we filled this up with distilled water. I've put a whole lemon. This is half of it, but I already did a half. And I squeeze it out as much as I can and really spoon it out and get all the little pieces of the lemon and everything in there. I put 1 full dropper of our fulvic acid, okay, with boron and zinc. This is very, very smart. It helps as a detoxer. And put in about 10 drops of the magnesium, ionic magnesium concentrate. I put a tablespoon, as you can see, the chia seeds on top, black chia seeds. This is loaded full of protein, over 50%. And you can put this in the blender and break the seeds up because then you'll get a lot of protein out of it. If you don't, then you'll just get the mucoid, which is the sort of like the mucousy part of the seed. But these seeds really help your intestinal tract. The flavor that we're going to put on that makes it taste really good, this is a fruit that comes from Africa. And it's got an excellent source of vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, iron, potassium, and it's loaded full of fiber. It's a tangy and sweet. It's called the baobab powder from Africa. To make it have a desserty treat, I put a few golden berries in there too, because that's a nice little dessert. We put a teaspoon of organic spirulina powder. One time I'll put in chlorella, the next time I'll put in spirulina. This time I'm using spirulina. I put in just a 1/4 teaspoon or a little less of cayenne pepper just to be able to activate everything, and about a 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of the green bean coffee extract. Now, if you want to make it more detox, I'm not going to do it with this drink, but you do it with activated charcoal only because you knew the day before you were a heathen and you ate a bunch of garbage, and or maybe you just breathed a bunch of garbage, or whatever the case may be. If you feel like you got sort of poisoned because you know you ate out, you ate things that you shouldn't have, activated charcoal. It's very smart. Okay, it does go ahead and absorb a lot of chemicals and toxins, and the one we have is a high pH coconut charcoal. That's we find is absorbs massively better than the others because it's high pH too. It's not a neutral 7. Most of the charcoals are just a neutral 7, and they don't absorb much, and they only make them neutral 7 because they put them in fish tanks and aquariums, and they don't want to change the water one bit, so they just make them neutral 7. So I get this specially made, and it's 9.3 or 9.4. Okay, so that's the simple drink. Okay, I don't have to put it together. All you have to do is just put those ingredients together there, and you've got yourself a beautiful drink. The lemon and the fulvic acid go together. You notice we don't have anything alkaline in here. The cayenne is acid, okay? The green coffee bean extract. All these systems here are very cleansing. Just because they're acid doesn't mean they're bad for you. Remember, cayenne pepper is the most alkalizing thing there is and most acid there is. That's why it's hot. Now, I'm also going to show you, I'm doing this for a month or so. I go on raw tribulus, and tribulus is to stimulate your hormones. And what you do is you take this powder and you take the caps off, these 00 veggie caps. That's what it looks like normally. And then you just take the top off and you fill them up and you swallow one at a time. The raw tribulus is really good to stimulate your hormones, to stimulate your internal self. When I take these, let me tell you, I can feel the difference. And I'm very sensitive and I can feel the difference massively. So And what do I feel? I feel like I've got a lot of energy in my lower chakras. Okay. Now, instead of using that for sexuality, which you can if you want to, go exercise. Use that hormonal power to focus on some different things that have nothing to do with sexuality. Exercise is one of the best things when you stimulate this, because the hormones actually help rebuild back the tissue better, faster, quicker, and smarter than it was, well, when you started. You don't have the hormones, most likely, it's just going to get weaker because you overused it, and it won't regenerate. So I do 3 of those a day in the morning. And those do also, they're loaded full of saponins, and that's what actually makes the gonads. Women too, this is an excellent booster. This feeds the gonads, and you have gonads, they're called ovaries. I've been doing also the Bacopa monieri in the morning. The way I've been doing this with a lot of different people, patients, different people that we want to get started. You do 3 of the Bacopa in the morning. You wait a day. You drink liquids pretty much all day, as much as you can. It'll null your appetite. The next day you do 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. Okay, afternoon meaning lunchtime, and then you don't do any the rest of the day. See how that goes. You should be able to make some pretty full bowel movements, because this stuff unloads a lot of garbage out of you. Let me tell you. And the next day, try, if this works for you and you feel that you could go ahead and progress, and do 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening. And make sure you just have smoothies. Don't fill yourself up with a bunch of junk. This stuff, Bacopa, is an Ayurvedic herb that really works on cognitive enhancement. And I've been taking it now for about a month with the combination of a few other things I'm doing. And wow, what a super cleansing. What a way to really tame down a lot of candida, yeast, mold, and fungus, and all these different various creatures. It's not just doing this cleanse, it's doing the probiotics, it's doing a variety of liquids. It's not feeding these critters what they thrive off of, okay, which is sugar. Stop the sugar. You don't need it, especially until you get down to, and people say, oh, you need sugar because it's your primary. You get enough sugar, let me tell you. You don't need to have a cola. You don't need to have the 200 pounds of sugar that most Americans have in their diet a year. That is bloody ridiculous. That's, of course, why we have 80 million diabetics. That's just, and diets, sodas and stuff. Remember, you drink these false sugars. It's been known scientifically that the sugars turn in your liver to methanol. And methanol is very super toxic. Okay, so, you're trying to have you noticed people that drink diabetes get a bigger caboose? Okay, and they got more problems because it's a false sugar, it's a false circuit, it short circuits your neural net programming. It's a chemical, and that does, every chemical has residue in the body. So this is also, I'm going to show you one thing here. Put my phone right here. This is what I do. This is our iodine. For the first month, what I recommend people to do is do this every day on your wrists. Okay? You put in a little bit like this on your wrist. 3 or 4 drops. And then what I do is I take the magnesium, spray 1 squirt, and you rub your wrists together. And this goes right into your system, okay? And it goes right into the thyroid. If you want, you can put it right here if you want to. It just makes little orange marks, as you can see, for a few minutes until it absorbs into your system. And it will absorb into your system, okay? And so you just rub it like this, and the magnesium pushes it in, and it has an iodine. This is a 2% iodine solution, okay, 2%. Pharmaceutical grade is 5%. And it also has potassium iodide that's mixed with it. It's called a Lugol solution. The way you put it on those with the magnesium is very effective to rub, and I do that now 3 times a week all the time, even though I have sea vegetables. That has helped my whole thermogenic system massively, okay? So it's nice to get a full load of iodine, and even if there's iodine 131 radioactive in the air, if you've got a full gland of iodine, it doesn't uptake that stuff. It doesn't need to. It's full. Gas tank's full. So these things not only are just because, the iodine also pushes, and it's a detoxifying agent. It pushes a bunch of junk out of your thyroid because now it makes space for the real fuel instead of a bunch of different connections that are clogging up the thyroid, clogging up the pancreas, clogging up all these things. And each of these organs do take special care. The iodine is specifically for the thyroid. And the thyroid makes many, 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 many different functions. And without that, you can see people taking thyroid medication, and the doctor doesn't even put them on any type of thyroid with iodine, trying this. And anyways, what a mess. So be smart. Once you get sick, remember, it's not easy to repair yourself. So try to repair yourself and try to be smart before you're sick, so you can actually terrain modify yourself to another layer of optimal health and advanced awareness. This is what terrain modification does for you. At whatever health level you're at, how would you like to have optimal health and advanced awareness? Or some people say consciousness. More transcription of what you see. Looking into the system not as a child, but more as a negotiable, an adult, not a complainer. You're just seeing the system for what it is, and it's a beautiful system, especially when you start to see it in the light that awareness gives you. If not, this place is weird, okay? And the more you see it, the more you want to help others come this way, to not destroy things unconsciously, not to kill things unconsciously, and to take care of the very home that you own, as far as the right to be able to have clean air. You own the right to be able to have clean water, to have sustainable food supply, and all these things, because it's all here. All we have to do is ask for it, and or not demand it, because that's being pushy, but just do it. Just do it. Okay? It does take work to get things going, and it does take community to get things flowing. You can get things going by yourself, but if you want to get it flowing, you got to have others. Okay, that's enough. Aloha, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Important reminder: all information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.